All Season Tyres. All Season Tyres are a tyre that claim to offer everything in one package. But does the perfect tyre exist? The one tyre to rule them all? I'm going to have a look at why people should be thinking about fitting all season tyres, and then my 7 favourite all season tyres of 2018. Segue. This is a summer tyre, this is an all season tyre. The tyres you're driving on probably look like this, and most people think they're all season tyres because that's what everyone in the UK drives on all seasons, but they're not. This is a summer tyre. You can see very smooth tread pattern, big central ribs for water dispersion, but nothing to cut through snow and ice, and no block packing. This is an all-season tyre. This has sipes, it has the deeper V-pattern grooves which pack in snow, and this is the tyre that will work in snow and ice. The difference between this and this has been proven many times. I will link a video below. This won't get you up a gradual incline. This will get you to the top of Everest-ish. First up, you should probably understand the perfect all-season tyre just doesn't exist. Sadly, we don't have the technology to make a tyre that works excellently in the dry and wet and really well in snow and ice. Now, going back a few years, some of the less scrupulous manufacturers simply put an all-season sidewall on a winter tyre, so your all-season tyre was essentially a winter tyre. Fortunately, manufacturers, especially the premium manufacturers, have got a lot better at making a tyre that works in most conditions, but still doesn't quite have the peak optimum grip of a summer and winter package. The main compromise of any tyre designed to work in snow and ice is unfortunately dry grip, which has led me to coin the phrase the dry snow ice, dry snow and ice, dry ice. The balance between the dry performance and the snow performance the manufacturer has to make. Unfortunately, because these little cuts in tyres called sipes, which are essential for snow and ice performance, that means the tyre in the dry has a much harder time giving an equal pressure of grip to the surface, and it's just got less rubber on the ground, so the dry performance, especially braking, does suffer. Fortunately, the premium manufacturers have got a lot better at mitigating this, so a modern all-season tyre, and particularly one, is very good in the dry, but not quite as good as a summer tyre still. And the tyre that's good in the dry isn't quite as good as snow and ice as the other all-season tyres. It's a bit of a conundrum. That said, the advantages an all-season tyre brings to your life are twofold. First up, it's safe year-round motoring. That means if you get caught in a freak snowstorm, you're not going to get stuck. I mean, you're probably going to be stuck in the traffic because some kid in his rear-wheel drive BMW has tried to get up a really tiny snowy incline and just got stuck and sideways, but you'll be safe in the knowledge you're not that idiot. Also, it means twice a year you don't have to change your tyres. That means you don't have to store them anywhere, or don't have to have a second set of wheels, and don't have to handle all these tyres. I don't know where to keep these. So there are good reasons why all-season tyres are an excellent choice for the more casual motorist. It's also worth remembering while we're talking about all-season tyres, it's not just about snow and ice. All-season tyres have a softer, more elastic compound. It's got a higher percentage of silica. That means at lower temperatures, the rubber doesn't harden up like it does in a summer tyre, and even around freezing conditions in the dry and wet, you should have a noticeable improvement. The tyre manufacturers like to use this 7-degree number for the crossover point. Personally, in testing, I find that's a little bit high. It's probably more 2 to 4 degrees. Most people tend to change their winter tyres over in October and back in February, but with an all-season tyre, you don't have to.
I love all these.
So now we understand that an all-season tyre is designed to be left on your car year-round and can help you in cold, particularly snowy and icy conditions, but there could be some compromise in the dry performance across the summer. Let's look at what I consider to be the 7 best all-season tyres in 2018. Before I start my recommendation, I'm going to give you a little reminder. Please subscribe and maybe hit the bell icon. Subscriptions aren't a big thing to you, but they're huge to me. I'd really appreciate the subscription. Because tyres are never simple, my best pick recommendation isn't going to be simple either. Instead of 1, I have 3. We have this, the Michelin CrossClimate, this, the Continental AllSeasonContact, and this, the Goodyear Vector 4Season Generation 2. Which of these 3 tyres should you pick? Well, it depends on your personal and fundamental driving style, where you live in the country, and what you want to do with the tyre / what you want from the tyre. If, like me, you live in the south of the UK, where snow's a rarity, you probably don't see too many extreme conditions like you might in the north of the country, and you're not going to take your car skiing to the Alps, not skiing on the car obviously, you know what I mean. The Michelin CrossClimate's the tyre to be on. Somehow, Michelin have made an all-season tyre that almost matches a summer tyre in the dry. God knows how. You'd think with the dry snow, ice, the dry and snow balance, you'd think they'd have compromised the snow quite heavily to get it near the summer tyre in the dry, but they haven't. Somehow, this is also excellent in the snow. Way better than the summer tyre. Maybe not quite as good as these two, but way, way better than the summer tyre. Where it might fall down a little bit is ice performance, but for me, that's not a problem. If perhaps you live further north in the country, because not everyone's in London, and you do see more snow and ice, this is the tyre you want to be thinking about. It's the Goodyear Vector 4 Season Gen 2. Now this tyre is brilliant as a wet, dry, snow, even balance. What it's done, it's a little bit further away the dry performance of the Michelin CrossClimate, but it will match it in the wet and slightly beat it in the snow and definitely beat it in the ice. So what you've got here is a very all-season tyre, if that makes sense. Whereas the Michelin's quite a dry bias all-season, this is a proper all-season. And the third tyre I'm recommending, sitting in between these two, is the Continental AllSeasonContact. Why is it sitting in the middle? Well, I think Continental originally designed it to sit in the middle of the dry and snow performance of these two tyres. So it would have some good summer performances like the Michelin CrossClimate, but also be really good in the snow and ice. I think looking at the early tests, this tyre is a little bit more towards the Goodyear than it is the Michelin, but it's still an excellent tyre. Now, this is only my third of the three first, not that that makes sense, because this is the only tyre of the three I've not got personal experience on, and it's been in very limited tests. So if you are thinking about this tyre, and there's no reason not to, make sure you pop over to tyrereviews.co.uk to have a look at all the latest tests it's been featured in, because there'll be more in the coming months. As you might have noticed, these three tyres here I've mentioned, they're premium tyres, and while premium tyres are often the best tyres, they come at a cost. Quite literally, they're all very expensive. If you don't want to spend that much, or you're looking for something on a little bit more of a budget, I'm not going to recommend a budget tyre, but there are some other options from very well-respected manufacturers which you should consider for all-season motoring. First up on my list of slightly cheaper all-season tyre recommendations is this. It's the Vredestein Quatrac 5. Now, this tyre has been out a little bit longer than the rest, and if you notice something different about the tread pattern, it's the only asymmetric tyre here. What this does mean is if you look at the European tyre test this is featured in, it doesn't normally score that well, but it gets really heavily downgraded because of its snow and ice performance. And there's a reason the other tyres are directional, it's because that works for snow and ice better. Now this tyre, where it does perform, is the dry and wet. And what do we see in the UK a lot of? Dry and wet, especially wet. So this is definitely one to consider should you be looking for an all-season tyre for the UK. Next up is this, the Nexen N Blue 4 Season. Now this tyre is the cheapest tyre in test, but that doesn't mean it's not a good tyre. It actually won the ADAC all-season tyre test earlier this year and came fourth in the Auto Express tyre test last year, so an excellent value tyre. This is the Nokian Weatherproof. Remember me talking about the dry snow ice balance performance earlier and how the Michelin CrossClimate pushes it more towards the dry, the Goodyear somewhere in the middle. This is down the winter snow and ice end. So I don't really think the Nokian Weatherproof is particularly suitable for the UK climate unless you're planning on spending a lot of time in the snowier parts of Europe. But if you're one of my European viewers, definitely check out the Nokian. Unfortunately as well, the Nokian is quite expensive in the UK compared to some of the other options. So yeah, definitely one if you live in Europe. Last up in my recommendation of all-season tyres is a real alternative one. It's this, the Continental WinterContact TS860. Now, this is a good example of how a winter tyre can work as an all-season tyre, because when it's been put in an all-season tyre test as the reference winter tyre, it's actually been more all-season than some all-season tyres. Think of this as having a balance of quality similar to the Goodyear Vector 4 Season Gen 2. So somehow Continental have made a winter tyre that works really well in winter, especially on ice, but also incredible in the dry and wet. Don't know how they've done it. It's like magic. There's a couple more options I can't yet talk about because they're brand new and I haven't seen them in any tests or driven them myself. But there's new all-season tyres from Bridgestone, Hankook and Falken. Now Bridgestone, big with the A001, their old all-season tyre, which was actually excellent at the time. So probably worth looking into the new, the A005. And Falken and Hankook are both making class-leading tyres at the moment. So if for whatever reason any of these 6 or 7 don't tickle your fancy, head over to Tyre Reviews and have a look at the reviews for the new ones, because in the coming weeks they'll be coming out in various group tests. So there you are, that's my top 6 all-season tyres and 1 special all-season tyre. The keen of you will have noticed one thing, there's no budget recommendations, and that's for a very good reason. All-season tyres are the most difficult tyre type to get right, and like budget winter tyres, which can be really good in snow and ice to be fair, they're terrifying in the warmer, wetter conditions, which we do get over winter. So don't think a budget all-season tyre is a good choice. It's not. It's going to be compromising your safety, especially in the warmer, wetter conditions we so often get in the UK. So to round up, if you are going to fit an all-season tyre, just remember they are a slightly compromised product still. They're not the perfect tyre. If you want optimum year-round motoring, if you're experiencing really hot conditions and really cold conditions, a summer and a winter tyre is still the best combination. But modern premium all-season tyres do offer a good compromise for the smaller cars that maybe see city and lesser country driving. It's also worth remembering that as the all-season tyre tread depth wears, the tread blocks get stiffer and stiffer and the sipes run out, which means the snow and ice performance decreases. Noticeably, it falls off dramatically at 3mm, which means if you are running all-season tyres, try and run the newer tyres into autumn, winter, spring, and then wear them down in the summer and fit a new set come October, because sub 3mm, they're not going to be that much better than the summer tyre in snow and ice. If you've enjoyed this video or found it useful, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. As I mentioned earlier, I'd really appreciate a subscription. I'm only putting out about 10 videos a year, so I'm not going to be spamming your YouTube, but it would mean a lot to me and help me get support for more tyre related content. The next videos will be crazy exciting, and they're already shot and edited, so I'm not actually lying about this, like the Michelin one, which took a year and a half to do. The next video out will be four-wheel drive on summer tyres versus two-wheel drive on winter tyres, and we've done loads of different testing, so that's a really exciting and interesting video, because how many times in the UK do you hear, oh, don't worry about winter tyres, just get a four-wheel drive? Well, I'm going to prove that. Maybe right, maybe wrong. You're going to have to watch. As always, questions in the comments below. I try my best to answer every single question the best I can. For any further information on the tyres featured, or you just want some more tyre general information, head over to tyrereviews.co.uk. That's the website that powers this channel. It's got tens of thousands of pages of tyre information on there. And if you've got any questions that I can't answer below, or you might not want to ask below, just look at the website. It's probably answered them. And as always, happy motoring and enjoy your all-season tyres.